get someone killed. Michael, could you please
killing one of your characters
was
was the greatest thing that I've ever done. It is my
up next to live at the top.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I looked at the wrong camera. Left. Keep all the way over.
Up on the top. Up.
Top.
Hi, everyone.
Over.
We got technical issues.
All the way over.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I was looking completely the wrong side.
Okay.
We have technical
Welcome to Maxed and Doubled.
Dun dun dun.
Episode 7. We have had some seriously technical difficulties.
So 7's not a lucky number.
Very seriously technical difficulties, guys. So very seriously.
Very seriously.
Let's just say we had to fix them with sticky tape.
We actually did. We have a workaround going today. I think maybe we'll take a picture of this after the session and tweet it out.
I got a couple photos.
Good. It's a little bit ridiculous, and
we also had to use glasses.
We are starting almost half an hour late, and we apologise for that. But I should tweet.
Should you now?
We are really.
Oh, Max and Double's starting.
Look at that! I think we're just going to get right into it. We're all here today.
Go for it.
Yes.
Hello. Everyone did miss me, I know.
We're all here today. Hopefully we don't have any audio issues today. And hopefully you can all hear Hannah as well.
You realise that the simple fact that the jerry-rigged solution is probably going to make us have an echo somehow.
No, that's not connected to any part of the system. We should be fine. Let's just start the session.
Please.
We are now level 20, and we succeeded in our missions.
It's not true. They wish.
We didn't succeed in our missions.
Previously on Maxed and Doubled, we didn't have Josh with us, so Silkus came down with quite the man flu.
I'm not a man.
You know, a regular flu, but in a male, it was just way worse.
Oh, man.
No, it turns out you're allergic to wolf pillows.
Well...
Oh no, we got another allergy!
Sound out strong.
I like it.
No, it's happened.
It's not canon, not for this
he's
one.
not going to get rid of it, though. He doesn't know it's the allergy.
So, having met Korma, the tiefling friend of Fenrir.
The weird tiefling that won't stop staring at me.
The weird tiefling friend of Fenrir. And having the discussion and determining that she was able to make a cure for sulfur, but needed some ingredients to do so. She didn't have them all. She gave you 3 ingredients, which included thistle leaves, the grease from a kobold's hide, and a herb called Sanomyzerium. All 3 of these were in separate areas of the region around Freightertown, and sent the party off on a fetch quest to go and grab them.
I love fetch quests.
Silkus came down with a man flu after the first couple, and ended up remaining in Freightertown for the final mission, which was the fetching the Sanomyzerium. That was located in a cave over to the eastern reaches of the plains that Freightertown is in, up against some cliffs, two large cliff faces, in which the lower one contained the cave. The party knew heading into it that they must be out by evening, or they would be trapped for the night, and proceeded with a skill challenge to retrieve the herb.
You've got a skill challenge.
Yeah, we finally got a skill challenge.
The skill challenge started with find your way out of this, Michael.
Yeah, it did. Archibald had some very creative solutions to some of the puzzles, and ended up having some epiphanies on potentially how his magic and background has worked. Are you alright?
I had the epiphany.
You did. The party had some epiphanies, which includes
all wizards. They take all information from everyone else and keep it as their own.
I'm not sure this is precisely where I would put a compromise on who had the epiphany.
Eventually, the party came across a large cavern filled with a variety of colourful flora, everything from moss to herbs to small shrubbery. Searched it for a little while using Sulfur's previously established scent of the herb itself, and eventually emerging from the cave with herb in hand.
I just realised we left the cave and I didn't check it for myconids.
No,
it's true.
No.
It's true.
No, that's not happening.
It's not your campaign, buddy.
Fair.
I mean, it wasn't his campaign the first time either.
For now. Yeah, it wasn't my... Yeah. Continue.
Josh is planning a coup.
As the four of you, emerge from the cave, you see the sun beginning to set over the plains here, over to the west, and begin your journey home. You're setting camp first, and you'll head on home. Now,
I want to set camp kind of far away from the cave entrance, given the sound.
It's still
Go
raining
as
super
far as
hard,
you
right?
can.
it is raining quite hard at the moment, yes.
Okay.
And you are still occasionally hearing those howls, those weird, inhuman howls that come
Yeah,
from a distance.
I don't want to meet what
Hello.
monster.
As you move away
How
from the
are you?
cave, they do start to get a little closer to where the cave mouth was, but you're out of sight now.
Okay.
You set camp, and we are going to switch to Silkus. So, Silkus, you've had, as of remaining in Freighter Town where the rest of the party left, you have 5 days of time.
Oh my
Now,
god.
we had a conversation off camera
We did?
about what you wanted to do. Yes, funny that. Now, it has cost you.
Oh, that's why you emailed me this morning.
It has cost you
That's the
Who
photo.
emails?
And
Four
what was with
gold?
the photos?
4 gold renting the room and stable spaces at the full tankard, just for your time alone. So that's 1 room and the stable spaces
Perfect.
Um, for the 5 nights. 3 extra gold, so that's 7 total so far, maintaining a modest lifestyle. And a further 20 gold carousing with the people of Freighter Town. So that's a total of 27 gold
Classic.
so far.
That's all right.
Now, you stated you wanted to spend your time researching the history of the area,
Yep.
transcribing a spell scroll,
Yep.
looking to have some leather armor made,
Yes.
and, of course, carousing with the lower and middle class members of the town. There are really no upper class
Yeah, I gathered.
areas in this town, so it's kind of lower and middle
I
class.
gathered by the stock.
Yes.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
I would like you, please, to make...
Spent 20 gold on that stock.
Yeah.
Please
Would've
make
want more of us spare
a
people.
persuasion roll for me.
He
Alright.
just called them stock. Can he do it with disadvantage and tension that his actions have consequences?
Silkus is actually.
Try to get it in the dice trap.
I'll try.
Please try to get it.
No promises. Oh, that's fucking good.
Yeah, you got it in there.
Thanks. 23.
23.
Yeah, buddy.
Damn, I'm glad I prepared for this.
Wow.
Okay,
Sweet.
so
It's like, damn it, now I've got to let him.
let me grab my.
Stop drinking while I'm talking.
Try not to. I forget to learn this.
Okay.
And I forgot that your book is upside down. That's great.
So yes, it is upside down. So you can add on to that gold cost an extra 10 GP. You have acquired leather armor.
Ah, beautiful.
And a doctor.
It is quite nicely made leather
For
armor.
the plague I got.
The scroll. You are transcribing onto a scroll the spell Mage Armor.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, that's an uncommon scroll. Because it's a scroll, it's half the time than just creating a magic item, and half the cost. So you are able to do it in these 5 days.
Beautiful.
It will cost you 100 gold
100 gold.
to transcribe. You can choose whether or not you'd like to do that.
That's a cantrip.
Mage armor.
That's a level 1.
What? Oh.
Most of the gold is just to pay the artist to draw the portraits of
Yeah.
the movements.
100.
How much gold do you have?
It's
think it's
dwindling.
best we
Wouldn't even be a
don't ask that
for
question.
me.
100 gold. 100
It's
gold.
not so much how much gold does he have, it's how much gold does his daddy have.
Excuse you.
But he's now cut off from Daddy.
Exactly.
100 gold.
If he goes and writes
What,
home
you
and
gonna try
says,
and
"Daddy,
haggle?
I need 100 gold because I wanted to write a
Could,
scroll."
no, it's just doing
Yeah,
scroll. What
that'd
are
be
you doing?
bad. I hope he says Papa instead.
Papa,
Papa, I need some finances.
I need a raise.
I've been working for this family my entire life.
in the elven way.
It's called living.
Yeah, I can afford that. I'll do it.
Okay, so mark off another 100 gold.
Oh my lord!
No problem. Easy.
All right, so with your history check,
Yes.
you gathered quite.
Whoa.
Sorry, with your charisma roll,
Even better.
you were able to carouse quite easily with the people of Freighter Town. Besides a couple of slight hiccups at the very start, like with the barmaid.
I call
I
it
would
a
now like
success.
you
She wouldn't.
I would now like you to roll a
Idris is
history
listener,
check for
friend.
me, please.
All the people in this town didn't like him.
No, no one.
A couple of them didn't, but he didn't see all of them.
Not everyone. I went door to door.
Yeah.
Have you heard the
Good
good
Or
war?
like a
13
little
for history.
safety thing to like block out how they smell like farmers, and he gives breathe in a little pouch.
Okay.
No, they're fine. I understand what they do.
So, Silkus, during your 5 days here at the town, looking into the history of the region, figuring out how Freda Town came to be and why it's here, what purpose it serves, you have garnered quite a bit of information.
yeah.
The prominent family of Freda Town, the Freed family, F-R-E-I-D family,
At first, I need to remember how to spell prominent.
they are a centuries-old lineage who originally funded and attended the establishment of the town itself. So not the specific people who are alive today, but generations past.
What's the family name again? Sorry.
Freed, F-R-E-I-D.
It's like friend without the.
Yeah, at the end, yeah. And I wrote the N in there. So, friend.
But you didn't write the I.
No, the I's right there.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a dot
It looks
above
like a
it.
double
How
E.
dare you? And so they're the what? Well,
They're a centuries-old lineage, so their family lineage goes back way into the past, and it was this family who originally funded and attended the establishment of the town itself.
Okay, so they're the
Essentially, the
sponsors,
founding
basically.
fans, the sponsors and founding family of Freda Town.
Okay.
You also found out Freda Town was originally a base camp. It was placed to accommodate expeditionaries as they prepared for exploratory trips into the plains of Ekron and into the Estenvale swamp. So the swamp, covers most of central Dalandar. It's a very large area, very muddy wetlands, and it's quite dangerous. And so this Freda Town was placed here as a base camp for people to prepare and plan heading out into the dangerous areas nearby, to scout them out, map them, and garner information from them. The town is now a crucial historical and political landmark of Dalandar. It remains a base camp, so there is quite a large market at the moment in Freda Town for expeditionaries, people heading out mainly into the plains of Ekron because there is very little umbral access there, and there's a lot that people don't yet know about these cliff sides and the plains themselves. And so Freda Town itself remains a base camp for archaeologists and also umbral engineers who seek to expand the reach of the umbral network.
We can't get magic to them there hills. That magic there. You got no magic.
Got done nothing magic.
The last thing that you learn is that the first expedition launched from Freda Town was an exploratory trip for the purpose of mapping the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Primarily just south of base, just south of the town, and the plains of Ekron to the southeast. So it was a multi-day expedition for mapping the nearby southern areas.
Okay. Interesting. And you said it's still used for archaeologists and...
Still used for expeditionaries, archaeologists, and umbral engineers.
Yeah. Okay.
There are a lot of those kinds of people around the town, and they use it as a. There's a lot of in your time spent in the last couple days before the party arrives back, when you're not quite as sick. You spend a couple days walking around and actually going outside to interact with people, and you did encounter quite a few different taverns, inns, places that accommodate people that are only here for a temporary stint. All kind of points towards that expeditionary purpose.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Now,
Let's do it.
one last roll for you. I'd like you to make a D100 roll.
I don't think I've ever actually really done those. Yeah, no, I don't think I have.
You've played a wild magic sorcerer before.
No, I haven't.
You've played an overpowered barbarian before.
No, I haven't. You're just saying your own characters.
Alright. No, you're right.
21.
Okay.
You
You don't experience
pot of
you don't
plant.
really experience any complications carousing this time period.
Oh, beautiful. I went back in time.
Yeah, fairly easy.
Wow,
Fairly easy
I
timing.
did time travel.
So, you also make 3 contacts. The first,
You have 2 eyes.
the first you don't recognize.
Sorry.
The first you don't recognize a human male, with long black hair, who introduces himself to you as Garland.
Scarlin. How do you...
Garland, Garlan,
J-A-R...
Gar,
Yeah, G-A-R.
L-A-N.
Lan.
Thank you.
And
And he's long
his background,
black hair. Sorry,
long black hair, human male, long black hair. His background, you struck up a conversation with him, having never met him before, even though you may recognize the name, the 2 of you actually.
If you were there.
But in the conversation, Garland soon became aware that you were with the party that he met in the tavern, in the Full Tankard. You at the time explained that the rest of the party were out gathering ingredients for more of Korma's remedy, and Garland was very thankful for that, and so he's now a contact for you. By the way, contacts, by definition, someone who is acquainted with you and you've done something nice for them, and they will help you out, but they're not going to put their life in danger for you.
They're on your Facebook
So I
friends
pretty
list.
much lost a lot.
Essentially, yeah.
I
Facebook
lost-
friends list.
I also lost a lot of them when I left Chimera. Okay. Fair
yes,
enough.
yes, you did. The second contact you made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you rolled very high, by the way. 21 plus was the DC for 3 contacts. You made all 3.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Second contact you made. Half-orc female by the name of Moloch. Whenever you're ready.
Yep, go for it.
M-O-L-O-C.
O-C?
Moloch.
Moloch. Moloch.
Half-orc female
Moloch.
with one broken tusk that kind of jabs. It almost looks painful, but jabs into the top lip and one broken tusk.
Yeah, right.
And during one afternoon, you encountered what appeared to be a small, fluffy animal with an odd shape.
You
It was
kicked
just
it and
wandering
it
around, and
exploded.
as you
I don't do that.
as you
How dare
approached this whatever it is wandering around the street, you realized it wasn't fluffy. It was actually a large beetle.
It reminds me of a bit where it's like, oh, there's a dog out the front yard. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, no, that's not a dog. That's a bear. That's a bear. Fuck.
Not quite. It was a large beetle, very large.
Large
so
beetle.
It's the size of a small dog,
Ah, yeah. Oh, boy.
giving off this bright red glow from its kind of midsection, and wearing, inexplicably, a woolen vest. And you found it wandering down the street.
It's a beetle in sheep's clothing.
As you approached it, it kind of looked over to you, and you saw there was a tag kind of hanging from the front of the vest, and you could see that it had a name and address on it. And so at the time, you returned it to its address and encountered Moloch, the half-orc.
Ah, I see.
You found out that Moloch is also a trader of exotic pets.
Oh, interesting.
Finally,
What kind of pets, sir?
Clearly, John.
you didn't get that information yet.
I'll come back.
Finally, your last contact, you came across someone by the name of Perrin, P-E-R-E-N,
Perrin, easy.
a high elf, androgynous, with 2 silver chain earrings with small blue stones. Looked to be probably the upper end of the classes in the city, in this town.
So silver.
Silver chain earrings, so
chain
kind of
earrings.
dangly silver earrings with small blue stones at the ends of them.
Right.
You found out that they were a
That sounds pretty.
Freighter Town official. As you saw Perrin leaving the town hall with a large stack of books and documents in one hand and a bag in the other. You ran over to assist by taking the bag and helping carry it down the road, making small talk in the process, and discovered that Perrin was an official within Freighter Town.
Okay.
So you have 3 contacts that may assist you in times of need, but won't put their lives on the line for you.
More persuasion
go.
rolls. We'll see.
Yes, exactly right.
And sorry, Moloch is a
Moloch is a half-orc.
salesman. What was she again? Exotic.
That was Moloch, yeah.
Yeah,
That was Moloch the half-orc.
Exotic beast.
Are you just building your own adventuring party at this point?
I mean, just in case the first
There's
one goes bad.
acquaintances who won't put our necks out for you. Sounds like us.
The
Yeah,
leather armor you
yeah.
got was from a large bronze dragonborn.
The what, sorry?
The leather armor you had
Oh.
it made by a bronze dragonborn, larger than normal.
And what is
you-
normal in this
Normal,
world?
as you're aware, as
Yeah.
you encountered with Lorellan as well. Normal for a dragonborn is around 8'3".
And he is...
And
This guy.
this dragonborn, she, Safara,
Yep.
is around 8'8", and built like a brick.
Jafara?
Safara,
Safara.
yes, not Jafar, not Jafar.
No, Jania.
Around
Like a
8'8",
brick
built
Safara.
like a brick shithouse, and she is the leather worker that you originally approached for your armor.
Okay, and how do you spell her name?
S-A-P-H-A-R-A.
S-A-P-H-R-A-A-R-A?
A-R-A, yes.
Cool, cool. And I'm going to write built like a
Sahara
brick.
with a P.
Pretty much.
Built like a brick.
Brick shithouse. Yep. So, as you complete your crossing one day, you are heading back to the full tankard when there is a bit of commotion, and you hear from the other end of town. It's not a long way, but you hear some talk of the adventuring party arriving once more. You realise it's probably your party,
Not the one, not my first party, not my second one.
not your second one. And
it's
you,
like a guy having two families. He
yeah,
just
pretty
goes-
much. And you head over to Korma's to find the other 4 members of your party, Sulfur included, of course, waiting outside the door. So, everybody, approaching Korma's hut, Korma's
Roll
hovel thing. You do see Silkus, fully recovered from his sickness, heading on over from the central area of Freighter Town, eventually reunite. What would you like to do?
So
It's good to see you all.
Why do you
You
smell
too.
like social interaction?
That's what I do.
glad to see you've recovered.
Feeling much better. Much better. How
Oh,
did the...
come on, John.
Been
you
in the
know
rain
you
for
don't
5
feel it.
days.
Sound hungover.
I would have got worse
It
when I
only-
started in
It
the rain.
only
though.
lasts for so many hours.
August. John's got enchanted clothes. He doesn't get wet.
It's true.
That's...
Yeah.
I mean, my head does.
Annoying. When you've been wet for 4 days, it's really annoying.
Oh, that would be annoying, actually. So what, you just... If it comes raining, you just put like that and you're fine.
I mean, I would if formal suits came with hoods.
Hey, you just do like normal jackets, just bring it up and just go like that. Just walk like this for the next 5 days.
Just bring his blazer up over his head.
And you just see a look of realization on John's face. Where it's like,
So where did you get that one?
I have had this since I mingled with different circles to what I do today, I guess.
Fair enough.
he's talking about us, Sariel.
It was
All have different circles.
not always a gutter economist. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough, fair enough. I would assume so. With what your paper money idea came in.
So
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's very lucky. Lucky with this kind of weather.
yeah. So we think Korma's gonna answer the door like a normal person today.
Hey, Korma, answer the door.
Well, we probably got to get over
There-
there.
There's a short pause,
We're at the tavern, I'm pretty sure.
and then you hear the latches
We're
start
closed.
unlocking.
Oh, I thought you said
You hear the
that.
latches
Yeah, okay.
start going. The and then the door swings open inwards, and she, hello, come on in.
The answer's no. We walk in.
Yeah, the answer would be more like.
I mean,
yes.
didn't ask us if
Please?
we were telemarketers this time.
They're learning.
So, have you got all the ingredients?
Yep.
Think so. Plus some extras, which turned out not to be the ingredients. I like open a bag full of random cave herbs.
I mean, I'm happy to buy those off you if you don't mind. It was only the Sanamizerium we had left, as you can see. And she grabs another vial that's next to her on a shelf and holds it up. I've already extracted the cobalt grease. We are ready to begin brewing the remedy.
Keep that over there.
She puts it back down on the shelf.
I'm gonna
Very good to hear.
stabilize it because she was not careful.
So, who's got it?
Oh, me.
Your memory serves you right.
Yeah, hand it over.
Okay, she
Very
takes it
on
from
brand.
you. She immediately starts working with it, stripping it down to the components she needs, and then eventually grabs some of the other ingredients. You see her grab what looks like a clove of garlic, as well as some other miscellaneous things, and puts it all in various orders, various ways into a large contraption that seems to be some sort of distillery of some sort. Turns to you once she's done all this and says, the distillation and the brewing will take a couple hours at absolute most. It's if you'd like to stay, you can. Probably not time to sleep yet, but once it's brewed, one application will cure the subject, and then it will take a few hours to take effect.
Okay.
Right. That's great to hear.
While she was starting the entire process, I was just walking around fixing stuff that she had quite clearly broken in her decades of negligence.
Yeah,
I would
Turns
say,
out
like,
she had a clock in there somewhere. Plus,
way ahead of her time.
I
yeah.
like to like when she's doing, I'm just kind of watching, being fascinated.
It is fascinating. There's a lot that goes into this. You can tell she's clearly been doing this for years. Her equipment is top notch, even though some of it's broken.
Yeah, she's got a clock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean over to Sulcus and just be like, write down that recipe.
Oh,
You've got a good memory, right?
already got it in up here.
I can provide that
No
for you
problem.
if you'd like.
I will definitely. Yeah, I'm watching it for the actual
I will.
process.
So, it's not a. It's probably early evening at this point. There's no need to sleep just yet, and she'll have the remedy finished by bedtime if you'd like to wait. So you're just gonna wait around and watch while she does her thing.
I'm gonna go nosy at this research place that Fenrir apparently has in this hovel. In other words, I'm gonna go snooping through his shit.
Okay.
I just talked to Korma. It's like, do you mind if I just stay around and just watch you work? It's quite fascinating. As one that
No, you're more than welcome.
that'd be great.
I'm following Sariel because
Okay.
Just because.
So roll an investigation check for him.
Oh, new dice. Okay. Now, if this D20 does not roll well, there is another one that came with this packet, and I will put this D20 in dice jail forever.
all you have to do is just say DC's 20, roll a natural 20, and then she roll.
This
Do it.
is
Say it.
45.
13.
13.
I
You
don't know why I needed maths for 12 plus 1, but how tired I am.
you don't really find much of Fenrir's stuff at all. It seems like maybe he's left a couple bits and bobs around. Yeah.
Fine. I will ask Sulfur to sniff out something he's touched a lot of.
Okay. In that case, make a survival check with just a straight survival check for Sulfur. With her stats, if you have her stats.
Just goes and sits next to Korma.
I do have her stats, just give me...
See, I was imagining like going outside and sitting down in front of the toilet.
1 sec, I just opened the page. It's
Turns
high
out it's in
anyway,
there.
she rolled a 19.
Okay, I think it's probably just straight 19.
What is survival under?
It's a wisdom thing, so
No, it's unnatural 20.
well,
Plus
there
one.
you go. Sulfur sniffs around the house for a while. She finds those bits and bobs that you found and kind of notices at those, indicating that is something that Fenrir is being in contact with. She goes all around, goes up to Korma and starts kind of sniffing around Korma, sniffs Korma's like low-hanging robes and kind of up and stays there
I
for a
thought
sec.
you were
and
going to
then-
say her lower body, and I was about to try and jump through this camera and punch
No.
you.
She sniffs her robes and then stays there for a second, and then dismisses it. Keeps moving on. Doesn't find anything of real interest that Fenrir has been in contact with. Just like looks like maybe an old rag that he may have used as a dressing on a wound at one point, and possibly some writing implements as well that he's left behind.
I'm gonna pocket the writing implements.
Okay. It's just like some terrible quality paper and a quill with no ink with it, and that's
don't
about
care.
it.
I'm taking them. She doesn't deserve to have them.
So,
That's fine.
so Korma,
Yes.
how well does this cure kind of keep? Like, I don't know if we're actually really planning on continuing to follow Pestilence, but he does seem to leave a trail of plague in his wake.
It will keep quite well. None of the ingredients will really rot. I couldn't tell you exactly how long. I haven't
that's fair.
had it long enough at any point in time to really tell. But it should keep a while at least. I'd say at least a few weeks.
Okay, that's good to know, I guess. Thank you.
Korma,
Yes.
got anything for memory loss?
Oh, that's a hard one. I can see what I can do, but how bad is the memory loss?
Pretty
Complete.
total.
Total.
That from
I remember
off a few
how to
days ago.
speak, and my name seems to be Archibald.
Or Sketchy Jake. Can't rule that one out.
It's
I
Archibald.
can see that.
But other than that, clean slate. Was born
Oh.
about a week and a half ago.
I can try, but I don't know what I could do for you there. There's probably more in the magical departments.
Right. I was just hoping.
I'll try. And she goes over, grabs a few more ingredients off her shelves, and uses a separate, smaller kind of brewing apparatus, and starts to do something there while the other one cooks, quote unquote. And eventually, before her remedy is complete, hands you a vial of something. It's a kind of a weird, almost bright pinky liquid. It's transparent, with some flakes of something floating around in it. Doesn't look particularly appetizing, but she assures you that it's at least not going to kill you.
Trying to remember what it's called.
Pepto-Bismol?
That's the one. Thank you. See, that's why I like having you around. You know where the holes in all of our brains are, so you're able to fill them in really easily.
The
I'm gonna smash it.
add
Okay.
add Nesquik for flavor.
Okay. You do. It tastes fucking horrendous.
It did.
I'm gonna.
I'm now
Realise
picturing it
what's-
tasting like Vegemite mixed with strawberry.
Ooh.
Hold on.
Tastes
hold on.
worse than that.
I just need to find something else.
See, I imagine it tasting like a perfume would taste. Like it's got all of the when they have all the things for the chemicals that it would smell. But it's just like, oh, actually, no, this is just chemicals.
As soon as the first bit hits my tongue, like a line of runes appear on my hand, and I cast prestidigitation, and that tastes like water.
Right. Yes.
There we go.
And you swig it. Yeah. So you down the whole thing. Nothing happens immediately. Korma just kind of says, if it has any effect at all, it will probably happen over the next few days, maybe. It's a slow-acting remedy.
Quick, do you remember taking the drink?
It's worth
Who the hell are you?
It's worth recalling that the trauma of the horrible taste is a very important part of the memory recall process.
I had a bit of it.
So, eventually, after a couple of hours, Korma goes back over to the large brewing apparatus, and there is a kind of a spiral-shaped glass container there that's being sitting under a tube that's being slowly dripping into it. She grabs that. she grabs a couple more thistle leaves and one of the leaves of the Salamizerium, grinds some of it up, stuffs it all, stirs it a little bit, and then presents you with the potion, which is that, for anyone who wants to read that. That's Korma's remedy, including the ingredients, and that is the potion itself.
Aha!
Oh, can we drink it?
Do I get to keep that?
So, Josh, you want to hold that up to my DM camera and show them all that? Now, there you go.
Is this the work
Perfect.
of Anna?
Keep
This
it
is actually half me, half Anna for once. My idea, Anna did
looks
a lot
like
of the
honey
brewing,
flavour.
but I came up with half the ingredients. So that is, funnily enough, actually relatively accurate to what she's done.
It smells like
Bar
glue.
the
It smells like
Salamizerium and a couple of other and the cobalt grease.
It just smells like glue.
it's just water and thistles.
The ingredients are on there for the actual potion, which you've now watched her brew. So you've...
Sorry, yeah.
The potion itself has the Salamizerium, the cobalt grease, the thistle leaves,
Where
as
did
well
you
as
get the potion bottle? Sorry.
as well as aloe vera and garlic. Are the 5 ingredients
of garlic.
necessary for? Don't push it all the way in; it will fall. But she corks it with a very looks like homemade cork.
Has Sulfur just got a sunburn?
Not quite, although the aloe vera definitely suggests that, doesn't it? And hands it over to you, and she says, she hands it to you directly, Sariel, and says, "This is about 20 applications. Only a small sip of this will cure the subject permanently, at least as far as I'm aware, unless maybe they are re-afflicted. But it will take a number of hours. I suggest drinking and then going overnight. But by morning, she should be all cured."
Thank you.
You are very welcome. I don't like to see people sick, especially not to these magical means, and by a man such as that. And lets you have that potion. You pocket that. Is there anything else that I can do for you right now? Are you heading off?
I think I might stay here for a little bit.
I'm going to actually check if she has any more of the herb I've been using to make John tea.
I have a
I have
complaint.
some still. I just want.
I'll fix that for you.
more.
Yeah.
She does, and she's happy to offer it to you for pretty much for free, since you were able to make more
I'm
than
gonna
necessary on this
give
remedy.
Her. I don't do for free. I'm going to give her 3 copper pieces at least.
Okay. She gratefully accepts it, hands over some more of the herb that you've been using. And is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'll be happy
I will-
to sell off my miscellaneous cave herbs.
I will
She'll,
actually.
sure. She'll purchase just all of them or some.
Not all of them. Like, I'm not an alchemist. I'll
So
just
like half of them, or
not all of them. I'm not going to
oh,
use them.
all of them. You said all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
For all of them, she'll offer you, let's say, 3 gold
Okay.
total.
I won't haggle about it. That's fine.
So you can add that to your.
On the potential.
I have gold. I have gold.
Yeah.
I hate gold.
Is that just paper?
That's just
I
paper.
forgot that was a paper slide.
That's all right. You're getting your one soon anyway.
It's alright, you just got 3 gold. On the potential that I might get my money back, I'm gonna give her 5 gold for whatever the hell she just fed me.
Thank you very much. So
Buy yourself more glass vials or whatever you just like.
Okay, so
Oh,
If
and
I'm
at this
taking-
point, her place is spotless.
yeah.
if I'm taking off the 1 application we'll use for sulfur, we have 19 applications of the.
19 applications left of Korma's remedy is what it's called. Korma.
What?
Her remedy.
I was going to write down Korma's pestilence remedy, but yeah, okay.
That works too.
Yeah, but it does sound more like piss.
Talents.
So
No one asked
with that,
It's true.
Fair.
No
with
one
that,
did.
you
that's
all
fair. That's fair.
leave Korma to her evening, and you're heading back to the full tankard.
As we're walking, we just hear a huge explosion from her place.
Shit! Why is it clean?
I like everything. It's everywhere it should be. Have a system.
There you did it.
So,
Someone removed the cotton balls from my air filter.
I did nothing of the sort.
so you arrive back at the full tankard.
Yep.
You all have a meager dinner and head up to your rooms. Whoever's paying for rooms between you, once again, it is 1 gold, 3 silver for the night and the stables. That was correct, wasn't it? Good.
Possibly. I think
do you
before
want me
we
to
go to
double
bed,
check?
though.
I'm pretty sure it's one gold,
This
3.
is why we take notes, people. 1 gold, 3 silver.
There you go. So 1 gold, 3
2
silver
rooms
for all
and
of you.
service.
Yeah,
That's right.
I got you all except Sulcus.
Unless you want to sleep in the same room with us, buddy. That's cool too.
That's a very good point. I do like my
Well, the reason he's
privacy.
not sleeping in the same room as us is because they literally couldn't fit 4 beds in the room.
I kind of also objected to that idea in general.
I mean, we could have gone with something smaller than king-size beds each, but we didn't want to.
Well, it's not too late right now. If you guys want to stay down for a bit of drink and just talk, I'm curious about how it all went over
Yeah.
there.
Have a chat
I'm
over a
going
game
to
of cards.
consider that for like 10 seconds.
I
and
gotta
then
warn you,
walk
I'm not the
upstairs.
greatest at that.
Okay.
Because more than I want to drink with people,
That's just the kind of warning I
I
like
want
to
to
hear.
get Sulfur into a comfortable position, feed her this solution, and literally sit and watch her for several hours.
Okay.
That's the amount of worry I've got.
Sure. Just be aware that if you don't sleep, you will not get your long rest. But
No, I know. I'm saying like at least up until they go to bed, I'm
Okay.
gonna sit
No-
up there and
not a problem.
watch her.
So
I
you
will go to sleep.
give Sulfur some of the remedy, and then you sit down with her and observe. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Quickly though, sorry, just about the transcribing bit. Did that cost me 100 gold worth of ink to do, or just 100 gold?
That is just 100 gold overall.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright. And how much was for the room itself? Just it was 1 gold.
It's
3
5 gold for a room,
Right.
3 silver for the 2 stable spots, and so 2 rooms
I'll
and
pay
the
for my room.
stables is
I'll pay for my room.
1 and 3.
Yeah, that's cool. Come if you want to join.
5 silver. I mean, not gold. My
God,
apologies.
fucking say, mate.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
5 silver, half of a gold.
You're pushing your luck, mate.
I'm gonna stay down for a couple hours with these guys, and then I'm gonna go up and chill out with Sariel for a bit.
Okay.
So, please tell me.
Yeah, so we
Oh, we can't do this without drinks. Just go. Excuse me.
Yes.
What do you like? Just ale?
yeah, I'm a whiskey
I'm
man.
afraid we don't have much of a selection, but whiskey
Yeah,
could
possible.
probably do.
Yeah, 3 whiskeys.
Okay. And she heads out, pours those for you,
You haven't tried whiskey,
brings them
haven't you?
out. He's
Oh,
headed up.
Oh, wait, you didn't stay down to talk? Archibald, before you go up though, I do want to talk to you quickly.
She brings them out and gives them to you.
Please, at least have a drink with us.
That's mark off 4 silver.
4 silver. No, you sure not like 4 bronze or
4 silver.
4 silver? Cool.
Sure.
Right, so, do tell me what happened.
Are you asking him?
I'm asking both of you.
Yeah, so we headed over to the cave. It was
It's rainy.
rainy the whole way, which kind of
It's
sucked.
quite wet here for a few days.
It was interesting for the first couple of minutes because I'd never seen rain before, and then it just got annoying.
It tends to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I forget he has an experience.
He hasn't experienced a lot of things.
I was literally born a week and a half ago.
His first time blinking.
yeah, so I like have a sip of whiskey and my headache clears up a little bit.
Oh no!
Yeah, so
Okay, all of you guys should not laugh at once because that was really painful.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry,
Just
but if
saying.
Michael wants to continue
Jesus.
being hilarious, it's going to have to be a pain that everyone's going to have to
That
I'm
bear.
gonna
was
point out,
funny.
I didn't laugh. I chuckled. There's a unique difference.
Sensible chuckle magazine.
Continue. I was just commenting on the loudness of the guffaws.
Yeah.
So it was wet.
It
What do you
was
mean?
wet.
Yeah.
So we had heard that. I don't know if you recall. We'd heard that if you went into the cave at night, then you couldn't get out. So we were kind of worried about that and going in a hurry.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Had quite a lot of trouble getting past this like fast flowing stream in the cave, which was scary. But Archibald managed to blast off a bit of the ceiling, and we managed to rope and pull and jump our way across.
I do not like being disconnected from the Umbral network, let me tell you.
It's probably not a fun time at all. No.
Can only store up one spell's worth, like one of each spell's worth of energy.
It does remind me, actually. Take out my satchel. Take out a scroll. This is for you.
Okay,
This is Mage Armor, the spell.
right.
This will, upon you can activate the spell by using that, or, well, I'm not too sure how you would work it, but usually wizards, we have our own little device and books to transcribe them on. Don't really know if it'll work for you, but
Might
at least
have
you'll have a once-off try. It's for an hour. You'll
It's a
better
once-off
break it.
thing.
The scroll itself, yes.
How much did it cost you to make?
No, not too much.
Are you sure you don't want it for someone else?
Well, from what I've seen of all us four, you and I are the squishiest.
You keep saying that word.
I just kind of like honed in on it and just taken it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Not a problem.
I will use it when I need it.
might,
No worries.
yeah.
You might be able to.
I can just read it, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you
Like,
read
I
it.
can read it without casting it.
You
Yep.
can read it without casting.
Not
If
that-
you understand what
It's
it
not
means.
like explosive runes by the moment you read Mage Armor appear.
Oh,
You accidentally glyph of warding the paper and didn't transcribe anything.
And this will set off in 3 seconds. Oh shit! I don't know if it's really possible, but you could. I'll suggest try and figure out whether or not you can put in your own repertoire because it's be useful to have as a permanent option.
Yeah. I will give it a go.
I guess might have to visit like an umbral tattoo person because you seem to have like. I noticed you've got like umber for each spell, or like.
I'm not sure if I want to visit any tattoo people. I think I have enough.
Well, I might.
That is true. That's fair.
I might be able to find possibly an umbral engineer that could help, and hopefully, if anything, might be able to be disconnected from.
The only thing I'm
from the area.
concerned about is this.
Well, from what I've gathered, this place is more for a base operation before traveling and venturing forth into dangerous lands. So
I pull out the two that I found in the town already.
It's the second
there's a good
time
chance that a lot of them are just ventures themselves, so they probably wouldn't even pay much attention to
It
it.
is still a fair point. I
Absolutely.
don't grudge you for being cautious about it.
If,
It's an option
if
possible.
you take me to someone who's seen the posters, then I'm not going to be around any longer.
I'm sure we can figure out a way.
So
But this is probably a good
I
option.
think it's something we've got to figure out between ourselves.
I'm
Because
fine
from
with that.
what I understand, you four aren't trying to kill me. Sulfur included.
Yes, thank you. that was my issue right now. The numbers.
So,
Well, that's good to know that at least you're all back safe and with
Yeah.
a possible healing option.
Also, I don't know what Korma fed me, but
Mm,
good lord, I'm getting lightheaded.
Ooh.
I am
Yeah.
going upstairs.
Yeah,
Alright,
I gathered
And
that.
I walk upstairs. And I immediately feel a lot better.
Is there anything I say or whatnot? He just seems to never want to stay around me. It's not really a usual thing I have. an unusual.
So he's gonna walk in to me like sitting with Sulfur's head on my lap with my legs crossed, and I'm just like singing quietly in Elvish or like patting between her ears, while she's like kind of doing the dog version of purring.
Also, I'm pretty sure, but I just want to clear it up. Do all of us speak Elvish? Because I do.
I do.
I do.
We all speak Elvish. Great. No communication barrier. That's good.
Okay, so in that case, Archibald will hear me singing pretty much the ballad of Beren and Luthien from Lord of the Rings, because that's the only one that comes to mind.
I was thinking.
Okay.
Never mind.
I think I know what you were thinking.
What?
Soft kitty.
No, I was going with the Valkyrie tune. I can't remember. No, Bumblebee. That's what I was thinking.
Oh.
Follow Bumblebees.
Play the Bumblebee.
How would you sing that? And then how would you sing that in Elvish?
What am I? I'm not a singer. I'm a wizard.
Anyway.
Guys, if you,
So-
if you picture in the first Lord of the Rings movie when Aragorn's singing to himself, if you've seen the extended edition, he's singing to himself and he wakes up Frodo. That song.
Okay.
It's quite sad and
trying
like
to remember when that was.
low.
So Archibald,
Like the tone for it's really low.
you walk in and see Sariel holding Sulfur and singing softly. You two remain in the lower part of the tavern. You have a.
Is it somewhat busy or like?
It's not really. This town doesn't get busy. There are a couple other patrons, but
I gotta try at least make one tavern get rowdy. At least one per town.
the two of you converse
Gotta be
for
once.
some time before eventually heading up
Yeah.
to your rooms to sleep. Unless there is anything else we want to do for the night.
I didn't.
Yep.
I'm gonna use my bow hingy thing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to string my bow.
Make an athletics check
All right. Another
Yeah.
with
I was not
advantage.
another thing
With
that you missed
advantage.
was
Okay.
I made a mechanical arm
Oh.
to give Sariel some leverage
Wait,
to
with
string
what?
her bow.
Mechanical
A
arm with
stick.
what? Oh, with
Just
just
a couple
a stick?
sticks. and-
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple
Like
of sticks.
a lever
straight.
is not a complicated
Moment
machine.
of truth.
No,
Wait.
no.
Okay, I'm gonna
So
use
it's-
this dice, and I'm gonna use this dice twice. Okay?
Yep, go
Because
for it.
this one lights up if you get a d20.
So it's like
Oh,
bionic.
yeah.
Okay, it wasn't a d20, but it's still pretty good. Okay, 18.
18. Okay.
There we go.
You
The other one was a 6.
you three
Oh.
watch. Sorry, you two
Yeah.
watch as Sariel tries to string a bow once more. It bends. And she's got the string in one hand. She's using the lever in the other. She has the string a little closer, and then it just doesn't reach. But it's the furthest you've gotten so far.
Wow. Why didn't you
tough
get the
is this
strong
bow?
one? Yeah.
It's
It's
like a
Fenrir's bow, and
300-pound
I'm pretty
bow or
sure-
Yeah,
something.
she's using a method where she's bending the bow over her back and leaning into it and
Ah.
pulling the string up to it.
Yeah.
She's still not able to get that string to quite reach.
I'm pretty sure he has put some sort of
Giant
Fell
bar of
up
rebar
on
in
it.
there.
that I'm only going to be able to use it when I'm worthy.
Yes, Thor.
That's- yeah,
I
pretty
know,
much right.
but I think that's actually the case.
Maybe.
I like it.
You don't know. We'll see.
I was
I
hoping
got
it would
nothing else.
work.
Yeah, I was really hoping that would work. I'm a little bit gutted.
Before John joins Sariel and me in the room, I'm just going to say to Sariel, if you want, we can take turns watching Sulfur. Because you need to sleep. We all need to sleep. I will wake you if something happens. It's up to you though.
I am worried, and I get that you can see that, and you probably are getting kind of attached to her too, because that's kind of her thing. But it should be okay.
Yeah.
We can sleep.
Okay.
She's gonna sleep really closely curled up to me. I'm gonna feel it if something happens.
Alright.
But
Okay.
thank
I want to say, this probably just didn't think about it. When they left for that following night, I prepared my spells.
Mhm.
One of them would have been the alarm spell.
Okay.
And every night from then, I've been setting an alarm around my room.
Okay.
Including tonight. So after we had our drinks one night, I come up, grab my staff, I twist the handle, and a thin piece of string just peering from the actual gem,
Mhm.
and I just spin it around and just all latches around it. A glow across the ground, across the walls, and it just simmers around. And then
The way it works is almost like the Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah,
How
I was thinking
it
that.
goes out loose. You
Nice.
you flick it and it in a circle goes out loose around the room, and then suddenly snaps to the walls all around.
Beautiful.
And then
that.
settles, and the runes you can see glowing are just along the tiny little runes along the string.
Nightlight, great. And yeah, I sit down.
Weird color nightlight. It's all black, but
I sit down. I grab my bottle of Lunar Lichen, and I take out my book, open it up again, keep just working on my notes of what's happened, writing down the potion, and I also take out my signet ring from my box, and I just look at it while I start writing down, and
Yep.
I then eventually go to sleep.
is there anything anyone else would like to do before you go to sleep?
I think as I like walk into the room and see Sulfur, I'm like, oh hey, Sulfur! Oh, Sulfur's looking better already. Nice. And I like settle into bed and like I think like go to sleep quite quickly.
Ah, quite nice.
When he starts to snore in his happily drunken state, I'm going to kick him in the foot. You know how you do when someone's snoring and it wakes them up just enough to stop them from snoring?
Yeah, yeah.
Do that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So,
Otherwise, I'll go to sleep completely like I'm going to almost gymnast this and like wrap myself around this rather large canine.
okay.
Yeah.
So, with that, you all get some sleep for the night. You can all apply a long rest,
Yes, finally.
and you can also level up.
What the fuck?
Fuck yeah.
So everyone, go ahead and level up. Take this time. If we want to take a break, which might be
Might-
necessary,
yeah, let's take a
I
break.
think we'll do that now.
This is your second character.
So we'll be back in about 15 minutes after everyone here has leveled up, and we will continue. See you all.
On the other side.
Yeah, quite soon. On what side?
But
Oh
we
my
will find
God,
out.
See you on the left
Guys.
side.
Yeah.
Then the right side.
The app gives me the wolf companion stats on it
I don't
at
recall.
level 3. This is great.
When will we? Oh, well, we was a blink dog. Yeah, okay. I had to physically make the character in another app to use it.
Yeah.
Trying, guys. I swear.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
be right back.
We'll be back.
So, you know, Age of
That's how
Empires
Mafia
is
works.
shit. Yes, that too.
Is one of those still muted?
And that's how we got this money.
No, I don't think so.
Level 3, yay.
No.
Oh, okay.
Hello, welcome back to
Hello.
The end.
Critical Role. No, I'm just joking. We're maxing double.
If you
Yeah,
You
didn't
can
know.
tell by our accents.
You're way better. Welcome back.
How's it
Hello.
going?
We are so professional. So,
Here.
I have a friend called So.
having returned to Freighter Town with the ingredients for Korma
Bravely,
to
I might add.
complete her remedial potion, to hopefully cure Sulfur and anyone else who may be afflicted with Pestilence's disease. Korma did indeed brew the potion. Archibald also requested something to help with his memory loss, which has been consumed as well. You have bedded down for the night after some drinking, at least for some of you, in the full tankard,
Yeah.
and you've all leveled up.
Skull.
Everyone is now level 3. And with that,
We take a break.
Sariel, you come to first. Not in your normal fashion. Usually as light filters through the windows, you tend to kind of slowly wake up and hear as the birds chirping outside get louder and louder as the day progresses, as the morning progresses. But today, you get this very sudden awakening as something wet and slobbery is...
Oh, thank God.
is
Wow, Josh.
Gelatinous cube.
moving all over your face, and you open your eyes to see Sulfur's snout right up in your face, and she is licking you happily all up and down your face before you kind of push her away and sit up, and she goes and starts doing the same with all the others.
I'm in another room.
Well, I say all the others.
My alarm will
With
set
the other
off.
two. It goes over to John next, and John, you awaken to the same thing.
Hey, hi, Sulfur, hi.
Finally, Archibald,
Hey.
you are awoken by the tongue of Sulfur.
God, I hope that's Sulfur and not
I would
John.
like to. I would like to know how close together are these beds? Is anyone getting whipped with a tail as well?
Yeah, as she moves on from you, John, you feel the tail going in your face, and you all come to besides Silkus, who is happily sleeping in the room over
With the wolf pillow that I'm allergic
with
to.
the wolf pillow.
Okay.
Yes, this actually
So she
counts
feels
as
better.
coin now.
Sariel, examining her, pretty much all the sores and pustules are gone. She's got a couple lingering scars, but her limp is gone. Her gait is back to normal. She's a little less muscular than she used to be, but that's just something she's kind of atrophied over time with the inability to use her muscles. And you suspect that will build itself back up in time once she kind of gets using them more, starts exercising a bit more now that she's able to. But she looks perfectly healthy besides that.
Do you want to go say good morning to Silkus?
Excitedly wags her tail and
I'm going to open the door, and then I'm just
The
gonna
alarm.
out
the window.
Unclick. No, I'm gonna unclick his door, but not open it.
okay,
And she's literally gonna shove it open and leap at the same time.
and she will.
And cast shield.
Silkus, there's a
As you hear the alarm go off, you get lit.
there's a very very short gap between you suddenly hearing the alarm bells in your mind and then less than a second later there is something in your face going
No,
and your face is soaked in slobber as you open your eyes and there is Sulfur perfectly happy licking away at you.
If he opens his mouth to speak, he's gonna get wolf.
Tongue in your mouth. There is tongue in your mouth and fur. Tongue and fur in your mouth.
Not the first time. That's my first kiss.
And that's true.
It is now canon.
There's
and I'm
Sariel
going to
laughing her
stand at
ass
the
off at the
doorway.
front.
Oh,
after watching this and just be
Thanks,
when
Alpha.
she sticks her tongue in his mouth, I'm just gonna be like, by the way, she licks herself.
So uncivilized. Thanks,
Good morning.
Sulfur does back down, and she's still wagging her tail excitedly at you, but
Morning.
Hi.
What time is it?
Morning.
Sulfur's rolling an insight check.
I'm gonna fall back on my bed. Inside, that's +3, I think.
I believe so.
Yes. That's 14.
14. Sariel seems uncharacteristically happy, and you're starting to see why.
You're chirpy. Sulfur's causing some kind of HR issue. Sounds like she's all better now. It's great. That's great. Great.
You'll get used to it.
Nice. Yep. Mine. I'm gonna get changed to.
Hey, Silkus, at least she's clean. Can you imagine when I go home and our parents just go ham on me with dirt all in their furs?
I can't really imagine that at all. I never had any pets when I was at home.
At least she's clean.
I've always wanted a penguin though.
Archibald actually, I think, cleaned her.
Several times. A lot of it was mainly just to try and keep her from getting sicker during the rain as well. So
Glad to hear that.
very shiny coat.
Oh,
So now that she's said good morning to everybody that she knows, she's gonna like run around in the hallway.
as soon as they go, I'm just
spend
like,
some energy and chase her tail.
She has a lot of energy. She's not accustomed to having this much energy. It's been quite a while
As soon as
since
I
you first
can.
met in Pestilence.
she leaves. I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I just like fall against the door, just slide against the door down the ground. I'm like, oh, it's so.
You see the last of your alarm spell fade from either side.
Can I
useless spell.
Can I hear
Useless
this
spell.
reaction, like the thud on the door and then like a squeaky sound?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna call back. Even John handled it better than you, and walk downstairs.
He's from the street.
Archibald, as
Yes.
as you get rudely awakened, or less than
it's alright.
rudely awakened, eventually as Sulfur and Sariel leave to go harass Silkus, you kind of reflect for a moment. You just kind of groggily open your eyes and reflect for a second, and you recall having some dreams last night. Nothing. You don't recall any specifics, but you remember dreaming, and you feel like there's a lot more going on up here than there was the night before. You feel like you've maybe had a bit of an info dump.
Good lord. Is this what you feel like every morning, John?
Can't really say, but
No,
if
it
it's
looks
not
like
pretty in there, if it's not pretty in there, then sounds about right.
Yeah, so it would seem like I've got a lot more in here than I did yesterday.
Well, that's one way we can differ between the two of
Both.
us.
Both power-wise and memory-wise.
Figure out anything interesting?
Have I?
You can't like bring any specifics to mind, but you kind of examine yourself and you activate your tattoos, and you feel like some of them are now activating when they previously weren't.
Okay.
Learned how to make a hovercraft.
Not hovercraft, but that one's new. That's never lit up before. Neither is that one. It's attached to a flame, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, good luck figuring that one out. Oh, I shouldn't have done
Sulfur's
that.
just gonna appear while you're all groaning and do another lap around the room of licking everybody as they come up.
I'll
With
come.
the-
I'm going to get her like in a headlock and kind of like
When you
she'll enjoy it
when
too.
Sulfur came in,
But,
when Sulfur came in,
I'm
like
bringing John's too.
you started licking and whatnot. It's just like my hair, like from like Frozen,
Oh.
where like my hair's all up and just like complete
Oh
mess.
yeah, like Anna's here. You're
yeah.
like, get it out of your mouth.
Yeah.
For some reason, the first thing that came to mind was just like hair from Frozen. Ah, yes, passing through your arm.
Oh, my shoulder.
I'm just gonna use me
Can
time
I?
to start fixing my hair up as I come in.
If I look at Archibald, does he look like he has a headache as well? It sounded like he did.
You don't necessarily have a headache. It's a weird sensation, feeling like you know more, but not knowing what you know.
Yeah.
Because it's news to him.
Okay.
He seems
I won't bother
confused.
making him.
Less headachy and more confused-y.
Okay.
I'll
I won't
come in
bother
a few
making him
minutes.
tea for a headache thing.
Okay.
I come in. I'm just like currently
You
the
have a
hand
hell
is
of a
currently
head
it's
of bed hair.
trying to comb itself out.
Oh,
It's like,
you've got to remember, he's got like dog slobber in there.
Oh
don't
yeah.
you?
yeah.
Like it's like
Sylvia's usually wakes up pretty immaculate, but this hasn't helped.
And I see these
Oh,
two groaning, and
dude.
I'm like, I take. Thank you very much. Take Sulfur. Sulfur visited you too as well.
Yeah, that.
I mean, it wasn't so much a visit as she was here.
John's got up the side of the face, like his shorter hair is just, there's one side that's just sticking
Just
up like
straight
that. And the other side is all tussled, like it's being hit a bunch of times by something that you can only guess is the tail.
And
I'll,
like that.
Wipe
Archibald.
the like
I look
slobber out of
completely
my
normal.
eyes with my sleeve.
Did you use
I
presentation?
would say that you
The
look
rest-
like you have some
Do you mind if
drool,
you
like down the side of
do
your
that,
face.
please?
I've done that on you already.
Oh, so you just did.
That's
So,
when that was.
okay, hair's all back to normal or not?
Oh no, I know what he looks like. Okay, so he just did a tussle with her, right? So the drool that she left on the side of his face has now got like speckles of hair.
No, there was no drool left on the side of my face.
Presto.
Why did you wipe it off?
Presto.
No,
It is a god. I'm gonna have to get that spell. That's gonna happen.
Well, you got one
Cantrip.
who's got it, so.
Yeah, that's true, but I need
So,
it myself.
the initial excitement passed. You all
Initial excitement.
head down for breakfast. As you all kind of sit down and begin to wake up properly, suddenly, someone you recognize and you both recognize bursts through the front door of the Full Tankard. Long, dark hair, Silvus you recognize as well.
Yes.
Long dark hair, human. As he bursts through the door, it's Garland. And as he comes through, the two other patrons besides your group within the tavern, everyone looks over, including the bartender, and he's frantically shouting, like mainly calling directly to the bartender, and shouting about some woman who's come riding in from the east. And as you start to, as he starts to kind of calm down and you start to decipher more of what he's saying, he's talking about, so some woman has ridden in from the east on horseback. She came from over the Steppes River, apparently. She said that she's from a hunting party based in Arkenhow, and they've had a confrontation with some strange horseman. Sounds like the one that came through here. Apparently he killed a number of the party and left the rest terribly sick. And he's now talking to all of you, knowing that he sent the two of you to Korma. Have you been to Korma? What's happened?
Yeah, we have. We can probably help with that. We managed to.
I'm grabbing my stuff.
Yeah, look.
Like, I'm
Where
not
are
even
they? Let's get
speaking, I'm
going.
just grabbing my shit.
She's out in town square. If you head over there, I'm sure she can give you all the details. I don't have it. All I heard was her shouts as she came through.
Okay, well,
So you've got a remedy.
yeah, we managed to grab the ingredients. Yeah, we better get going then.
Absolutely. Let's.
And I think
Quick
I'm
pace.
like out the door like 20 seconds behind you as you've already
Yeah.
run off.
We're all just gone.
Yeah.
And you're just
Okay.
like.
Oh, I
You
was
went down.
keeping pace.
I was thinking like you bend down quickly, like tie your shoelaces or something, and then like what?
Strolls out.
But basically, everything I carry is in one single satchel, so
Yeah, same.
All I have to do is
Except
sling
it's a lot heavier for me.
my unstrung bow over my back, grab my bow, and get out the door.
So you all
Pretty easy.
head on out the door and make your way over to the town square. It's not far from where you are. The full tankard is only a couple blocks down. And as you get there, there's you see first the horse. And it's just a relatively plain bay standing there with a rider next to it, holding on to the reins and having a very frantic conversation with what looks like a town official of some sort. And as you approach,
I'm gonna like subtly shift Archibald's clothes a bit as we approach.
okay, you approach and
You could
they
press
kind of
some
both see
dirt over
you.
your tattoos.
She looks over, sees you. You from the quick look she gives you, you gather that she is a wood elf. You can see she's got braided long hair, and when she glances towards you, you see she's got some sort of war paint dotted across her face. And
Similar to mine.
similar to yours, yes. Not exactly the same, but similar. And then she turns back and continues this frantic conversation with the town official. You approach, you up and start talking.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say directions.
And she
Directions.
turns to you straight away and is like, "To my party.
Yes.
I can take you there. I can't describe it, but I can definitely take you there."
Now.
Okay, and she just immediately stops all conversation with the official, jumps on the back of her horse, offers a hand to the first person, which is you, Sariel, and says, "Get on. Are the rest of you coming?"
Is
I'm
anyone
gonna
else?
grab one of the horses that we have.
What I can do is get it so that Sulfur will track me for you guys if you want, and I can run on ahead with the remedy.
Is anyone else gonna come with?
Yeah.
Or is it just gonna be us four?
It's just
We've
us.
got the cure.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna grab the
Do you want
horses
me to do
from
that?
the
Do you want
cart.
me to leave it with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll follow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like full on nose, forehead with her and say, help them find me, get on the horse and go.
Okay, so you jump on the back of the woman's horse, and you both take off out the eastern side of Town. The three of you run back, or the four of you, sorry, run back, grab the horses, unhitch them from the cart, and who's on what? Because you got room for one person on one and two on another.
I figure we'll be together because we're smaller.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so you grab one, you two grab another one, and Sulfur immediately starts.
Which of the two of you is in front?
Me.
Because you were born a week and a half ago, and you've
I'm
never
in
ridden
front.
bareback in your life.
I'm in front. I've ridden bareback.
I called it.
Really? I don't imagine you would have. Like, I imagine you would be very much. Oh yes, I've ridden saddled horses
I'm
many
feeling
times.
I've
You've definitely ridden saddled horses. You've never controlled.
It might
Prior
hurt, but
to-
it's not that uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I
prior to
purpose.
prior to
Okay.
meeting this party, you'd never
That's better
controlled
than-
two horses in a cart.
That's fair. That's
And
fair.
you'd never ridden bareback, but you do jump on, and this is the first time you're riding a horse with no saddle. It's got the tack, but it's not designed to be ridden.
He called it, so he can go for it.
I'm in front.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll get the two of you to make, let's just say, straight intelligence checks.
Oh, hell yeah. 18.
That's a nice new. Oh, that's not a new stat because that's just intelligence.
Yeah, 4.
18. 4. Okay, that's all right because you have had experience, so your DC is a lot lower. So you take off with Silkus behind and Sulfur leading the way. You're a little bit slower to get going. You kind of slip and slide around on horseback a bit. Eventually, kind of setting in behind them, but they're a little ways ahead. You can see them, but they're a little ways ahead. As you go, you clear the town completely. You start heading back into the plains, and as you go, you start to see way up ahead of you, with a good few minutes on you at least, is Sariel and the wood elf who took off. And they have seemingly slowed down a little bit. So eventually you all catch up. You're all now in a group together, Sulfur having led you out there. And she turns while at this kind of cantering pace and says, "We are still quite a few days out. I want to get there as quickly as possible. If we keep going like this, it's going to tire the horses out. We'll go like this for a while and then head into a forced march." And she kind of pulls out ahead of you again. Now both of you make a survival check. Sorry, animal handling check.
Not bad.
Not bad.
6.
13.
So you do manage to keep up. You fall a little bit behind, but you manage to keep up with them.
This
Sulfur's
medicine
running along the side.
this medication may cause drowsiness. Do not operate horses whilst under the influence.
Do not operate heavy.
I'm going to
animals.
shoot John a message as I see him starting to fall behind. I'm like, you alright, dude? Do you need Silkus over there?
Hearing that, I sent a message.
No,
Yeah,
I
can,
wasn't messaging you.
You can't hear him.
I was
He's
messaging
saying this
John.
through his tattoo, so you
Right.
don't see this happening.
the message is like you
Think
physically
so.
got it
Not
through.
him.
Okay. fair enough.
I'll wake up properly eventually, I'm sure.
Alright.
I'm just feeling a bit drowsy.
Okay.
Okay. So you continue on heading into the plains area. She's leading you roughly east-southeast. So there isn't a path. You're off the beaten path at this point, heading directly out towards the dual cliff line and then the Daling Range Major that you've seen before. And at this point, you are a couple days out. So for this, you'll be riding. So you're in the lead. You'll be riding just behind. I'm going to say that's the marching order 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I will get.
1,
She
2, 3.
will make a survival check
Oh no.
and a history check.
Oh
They
no.
were both shit. So that's fine.
I can't get lost.
You can't get lost, but you don't know where you're going.
So you will permanently know how to get back to the village, which is
Wait.
good, I guess.
Yes.
We do know where it was though.
Do we?
You
Roughly.
You know
'Cause
where
she said-
the
you
caves were.
Yeah. He said Arkenhouse, so
They were from Arkenhow.
Yeah.
Hunting party.
right.
Should we
Funny
not
if we
That's
navigated
less
to
information
Arkenhow.
than that.
She seems a bit like she's faltering. Do you have anything from your companions on you that would hold their scent? Or better
Sure.
yet,
I mean,
how long ago did you ride this way?
I only just came this way. But it's really hard to navigate here out in the plains. There's no landmarks to
Can
go
I-
by.
Don't freak out. I'm gonna whistle for Sulfur and get her to come up and sniff her.
Okay.
Just can you smell her anywhere around here? Can we find a trail?
Sulfur runs off as the elf kind of pulls up the horse. Sulfur runs off and starts scanning the area, eventually catching some sort of scent and leads you in that direction. You all wheel the horses, head off that way. It's just a slight alteration on the course you were already on. And now Sulfur's running off ahead. You've pulled the horses down in their pace a little bit so that Sulfur can stay ahead. And eventually, who's got high passive perception? You.
Let me double check on that
3,
one.
I think.
13.
13.
Mine, I think, is also 13. Perception.
What's your
What is?
It's just 10 plus your perception.
10 plus perception. Oh, wait, no, actually, that's
14.
11.
14. Okay, Sariel, you see it first. Up ahead, there is, in the grass, you see an area of the grass maybe roughly 30 feet wide, and it looks like what I can only describe as a runway. The grass is wilted, and there's just a straight line of wilted, low grass that heads up towards the cliff line. And as you approach that, you immediately recognize, getting closer to it, this affliction. The grass itself is magically diseased, and you have seen this before when you initially came into Chimeria with Sulfur.
I'm gonna try and pull the reins slightly so we don't actually go into that.
Okay.
Because I didn't trust it when I was tracking it. And I was keeping Sulfur off of it as much as possible. I don't know if that can leak out of the ground, the grass, and infect us, and I don't want to do that. We just...
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and tilt.
Okay.
From
you do
behind her.
You do so.
Trying to-
The this trail itself, as you continue to get closer, you see it continues all the way from back, probably past Freightertown. You suspect that maybe this is being here. This is the path Pestilence originally took from Freightertown out this way, and you've now connected once more with it. And you are running alongside it, heading out to the east. You go a couple hours. You see during this time, because you're heading that southwards again, you start to see aspects of the actual plains of Ekron themselves, where the plains to the east and north of Freightertown and around Arkenhau are pretty average grasslands with not much interest. There's not really any landmarks there. The plains of Ekron are specifically dubbed as such because there's an area of taller grass, different kinds of flora, and different fauna as well. And as you go, you see a couple different roving herds of what Sariel you know to be, although you've never seen one before, as aurochs. Large ox-like creatures with huge horns, and they're probably 1.5 times the size of a regular ox. Just roving herds of them as they move through the plains here. Once you do see off in the distance as well, to the south, you see what looks like some sort of bird-like creature flying around in the air. From this distance, you can't tell if it's small or large. It's just up there. You see a silhouette. And you continue forward throughout the day. Eventually, one time, make a perception check. Everyone who's like looking around, make a perception check. Everyone who's like actively focused on their surroundings.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it would be good. Oh, that's not bad.
8.
That's
18?
perception, just 19.
19.
10.
You can make one if you like to.
I don't think I would be like actively scanning the horizon. I think I would be kind of interested in the surroundings, but not in a will spot something if it shows up kind of way.
Are you like focusing on the bird, like on the animals as they
Like,
pass by?
Ooh,
yeah.
sky.
Okay. You can make one.
Okay.
Make one now for
Wow,
me.
it really is up there.
Oh, a blue sky.
6.
6. So the two of you, Sariel and Silkus, you both watches this one time as that bird creature goes into a full dive coming down, and then disappears behind some of the horizon, which you realize it must be much further away than you originally thought it was if it's diving past the horizon. Comes back up past the horizon, and it's got something in its claws, and it continues up further, and then you see it fly off towards the Daling Range itself, before disappearing behind some of the mountains. And then eventually you ride it for enough hours, the sun is starting to get low behind you, and the half-elf pulls up the reins on her horse, and just says, well, anywhere's a good place as any to camp in this dastardly place.
Anything in particular we should be on the lookout for during the night?
Anything big.
So the
That's
aurochs aren't even
Good
friendly?
advice.
That's good to know.
The aurochs are relatively friendly. I wouldn't get near them. They don't like being approached, but they're relatively friendly.
Okay.
Oh, fair enough then.
We should set a watch.
Yes, absolutely. How many days
I'll say
left?
first.
Just one more day for now?
It's to them. She explains it's 3 total days of travel from
Total days.
to where they hold up. And
Right.
as you kind of settle down, she starts making a camp. She does set a fire. She clears out some of the grass around and sets a fire. She doesn't seem to be worried about being seen from a distance, but she also seems quite familiar with this landscape. And as she does, you garner some information from her in just a small talk. Her name is Leah.
We should probably ask that in the beginning. We will go with you, stranger.
And she starts
Lead
to
us to an
describe
How do you spell her name, sorry?
Leah.
Okay.
Leah.
Go for the long way to spell, okay.
And she starts to describe, she kind of draws a rough map of the area in the ground for you and describes as best she can where her group is. And she points out that it's up on the plateau between the first and second row of cliffs. She knows a way to get up there, and she will lead you there. But there's what's adding so much to the journey. It's not necessarily as the crow flies such a long distance, but to get up onto those cliffs and onto that plateau, you'd either have to go all the way around up to the north, or go through some of the narrow and sometimes difficult pathways straight up the sides, which is quicker but slightly more dangerous. And she points all this out. Now,
If I look at her, is she a ranger?
she appears to be a ranger, yes.
As she's explaining all of this, I'd like to just like keep an eye on her and try and figure out exactly how truthful and forthcoming she is with this information.
Rolling insight check.
Hell yeah. 10.
10.
Nope. 12.
12. Okay. She seems genuine.
Alright, cool.
Doesn't seem to be anything off about her.
Cool.
So, she kind of, as you're all getting ready to figure out the watch, she kind of says, I'm happy to take one of the middle watches. I know they're the hardest. And then heads off to sleep. So what is your watch order?
I'll go first. She'll go first.
You didn't call that before.
I'll go second. That's not a problem.
Second, Lee will be third.
Yeah, I'll grab fourth.
Okay.
I think before
sleep.
going to
Yay,
sleep,
actually
though,
missing that off.
There we go.
I do want to do something before trying to sleep, just because it's still somewhat early, I assume. I have the cantrip message. I want to. This is just flavor. I want to be able to use the gem that I have to transmute a thin bronze copper wire from it, like I would do normal spell, just so I can wrap it around my ear and have it there, so I can cast it through that.
To cast it, like,
It's just simple, like,
or to stay there for when you want to cast it.
when I want to cast
Okay.
it. Yes.
You're aware that anything that comes out of your staff is magical and will fade.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just as your alarm spell does, it fades eventually. And you are able to begin an alarm spell or a message spell and bring out the wire, and then it just fades, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, worth a try. I'll go back and get some copper the next time.
Is there anything else people would like to do before sleeping tonight?
Bluetooth talk.
I don't trust her completely. I'm not taking my bow out of its sheath tonight.
Okay.
I'm not actually
I
letting
trust
her
her
see it
completely.
beyond the fact that it's on my back and invisible.
Okay.
I trust her
Alright.
completely.
So,
I throw away my stuff.
Sariel, roll a perception check with advantage for me because Sulfur is helping you.
Of course she is. She's my girl.
Actually, in this case, because she's no longer diseased, roll 2 separate perception checks. Sulfur's is with advantage.
Hey.
Yours is regular.
Noted. Well, mine's shit.
But what
so,
if Sulfur is helping? Does she get advantage?
She's not helping you.
Okay,
Yes,
14 for me.
Shit, she says.
Perception is a dirty 20 for her.
Nice. Okay. Throughout the night, you the same experience as your previous travel through the plains. Pretty barren. The rain has cleared up at this point. You have some clouds overhead, but it is no longer pouring on you as it was the first time you came through here. And once in your watch, you see a little bit, maybe 100 feet away, you see what looks to be some sort of nocturnal, maybe even not nocturnal, but you see some sort of bird, just a small one, fly up out of the grass, and then some
Like it's
shape.
startled.
Yeah, like it's being startled. And then some shape. Maybe the size of a large dog. A little bit smaller than Sulfur, maybe. Leaps up into the air after it and then falls back in the grass, and you don't see any more sign of it.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all of note that you see throughout the night.
And I will wake up. Silkus taking a
Silkus was on second watch, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you wake up Silkus. Silkus, taking your watch, roll a
There is
perception
some
check.
weird looking dog thing that way that I saw it last. But it was just trying to catch a bird.
Ah, fair enough.
Be
I'll keep
aware
an
of it.
eye.
Good night.
Alright, 6.
6? Okay.
I do not keep an eye on it.
About your watch, you start scratching your quill a little bit, but then there's a little bit of a rumble off in the distance, and some raindrops start to fall.
Is there-
It's very light at this point. It's not pouring on you, but it is raining just slightly. And as these first few drops come down, you hear a sound that you've never heard before. It's a weird, ululating, inhuman howl that kind of echoes across the plains. And it seems to be coming from maybe to the south. It's very difficult to pin the direction with the way it echoes. But you do hear this weird howl, and it happens once or twice, and then the rain kind of eases up, and you don't hear it anymore.
Okay, from the south.
Roughly from the south, you think.
Anyone else feeling like the rain is
You're asleep.
Your watch concludes. You don't see anything more of note.
I think your watch has ended.
Oh no.
Time has stopped.
Do I have to roll a new character?
So after this, do you sleep or do you trance?
Oh, that's a good point. Nah, I'll sleep. I like sleeping. It's great. It's just uncomfortable sitting like this the entire time. It's not just
John.
bad back.
Leah wakes you up.
Yeah.
And tapping you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, it's your turn for watch."
Can anything of note happen?
No, not really. Some weird noises that I'm not used to, but that happens all the time in these planes. Something new every day.
All right then. Well, I sleep well.
Okay, you too. Once you do. So, roll a perception check for me. Into my thing.
I like this. Her name is simple and easy to remember.
3.
3.
And forgettable once we kill her.
You do notice that the back of your head and the side and back of your head are a bit wet. It seems like it's rained during the night.
Yep.
But you take your watch. You don't see anything of note throughout the night. Nothing really happens. You hear a couple noises of the nocturnal animals, and you do once or twice hear kind of the thudding footsteps of some large creature off to one side, but you suspect it's probably one of the aurochs, and kind of let it pass. And eventually the sun begins to rise over the top of the light comes over the top of the Dalen Range. The sun hasn't yet risen. The Dalen Range is blocking it, but it starts to get a little bit lighter, and your friends start to come too.
Yep.
As you all wake up, Leah is immediately preparing herself to head off. She's grabbed a pack of hard rations, and she is already shoving that down her throat while she is preparing her horse.
Quick question though, when we were watching, when I was watching, was she sleeping or in trance? Been a wood elf.
Making it's like
Just at that
she
point.
was in trance.
Do I just believe she was in trance as one that does trance?
Yes. Yeah, you see it, and she's obviously in trance. She's obviously used to kind of always being
It's
aware.
like-
Yeah.
Either that or she sleeps with her eyes open.
It's like,
Yeah.
just the entire time, no blinking. Just it's like, how does she do it?
So she
It's
is
just really weird whenever
essentially-
she says, "I'm watching you" in her sleep.
The watch never ends.
she's essentially ready to go in
Yeah.
about 15 minutes. She's eaten, saddled her horse, and is raring to go while the rest of you are also preparing.
Yeah. As prepare, I just want to be like, Leah, is it?
That's correct.
You kind of
I'm
left in a
making
hurry.
tea.
I'm kind of curious. Could you tell us more about what actually happened and be able to tell us of why you're over there and just
Absolutely.
in general? Because we have no information. We kind of just left at it.
Well, we were on a hunting trip from quite far away from Arkenhal, where we are from, there were 7 of us, and we were on that plateau near the cliff, near the second row of cliffs, and a strange horseman, some magical person, came through riding this white horse that seemed like it was gonna die tomorrow, but seemed healthy at the same time in the way it moved, and he spotted us. We spotted him, and he immediately became hostile. He attacked us and killed 2 of our members, left another 3 very sick, and there are now 2 of us left who are in good health. One of us has remained behind to look after the others.
And you don't have a specific description of him.
He was wearing a full leather outfit, some weird beak on his mask, but I couldn't see an inch of skin.
Describe the horse.
White, diseased looking, really quite creepy.
I mean, it seems like the same person.
Quick question. So Josh here. Hi. So,
Hi. Hello, Josh.
Hey, Oscar.
Who the hell is Josh?
How do I know, man?
It's his backup character.
Do we know had an idea of direction where pestilence was?
All you know is that Pestilence rode through Freighter Town and went
Through
straight
Freighter.
east.
And we're going to east. Is that what we're
You're going east.
Okay, so
We're going east,
East,
southeast.
southeast. Yeah.
So we're going
Southeast.
slightly south.
You know that Pestilence left
we
the east of Freighter Town, but they don't know where.
Chimera was more north.
Chimera is as
Just
far
trying to-
north in Dale and Dower as you can
Yeah,
get.
okay, so-
Roughly the middle of the coastline.
Right.
And it's on the coast. So
Okay,
it
so
is on
we've-
the coast there.
Okay, for some reason I was thinking we were backtracking for some reason.
No.
Okay, so
No,
that makes
we're going the
sense.
opposite way.
Yeah,
from
so
You-
Chimera.
you've come-
so we're
you've
going
come down-
further away.
Out of Chimera,
Yeah.
followed the trail pretty much directly southeast
Hmm.
to Freighter Town. You've ridden through Freighter Town, and now you're going pretty much straight east from Freighter Town. So it's all being east.
Do I believe what she's saying?
Roll an insight check.
If I can tell that
21.
he's looking a bit skeptical, I want to point out that the trail we're following in the grass is the exact same trail I followed in the Chimera.
Seems genuine.
The foliage might be different, but the trail is the same.
Oh, fair enough.
You've encountered this one before. How? Well, best not ask that.
Well,
Believe it or not, your companions looked my wolf looked an awful lot like them 2 days ago.
Big no offense or anything like that. Just jumping on the chance of just leaving with little information. Best be as cautious as possible. Especially with just
I
leaving
absolutely
out to
agree.
nowhere. Especially to where we think we're going.
We should go.
Fair enough.
I know it's a bad time, but the markings you bear.
Yes. They're an Arkenhal hunting party thing. We all have our own markings. My other companions have the same ones. I notice you have some too. You're not from Arkenhal, are you?
I don't know. I didn't know my mother. But
They're similar.
this is what father used to paint. So
Interesting. Well, we best be going. We need to make up some time. She jumps
I
on the
know.
horse as
Sorry,
you already.
bad timing.
I
And
think
I'm
we're
gonna
kind of
get
like
ready to go.
already getting ready to go as we're talking.
All right. So, we keeping to the same marching order.
I don't see why not.
So you continue to follow Pestilence's trail, and as you go, the hours go on. The morning turns into midday, and at one point you come across there are some weird protrusions in the ground, slightly off to your south. As you approach them a bit more, they look like hewn rock. It looks like worked, humanly worked stone, poking up out of the ground to your south, maybe a couple 100 feet off the path that you're following. And you kind of ride ride past it. Would you like to investigate it, or are you going to continue riding past?
I'd like to have a look
Like,
as we pass.
it's
I would
curious, but we're not tourists.
Cursory look.
Can I try from where I am be able to investigate on just with
Perception
my
checks, both of you.
Oh yeah. Can I do investigation?
No.
Oh, but I want to.
Would I be able to use my alchemic knowledge to
All good.
be able to help with this at all?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to decipher, well, chemical.
You're a couple hundred feet away.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Perception.
Large
That's not bad.
hewn rocks
18.
sticking up out of the ground.
I say 18.
18 and
21.
21. The two of you, as you're kind of watching it as you go past, it seems to be a ruins of some sort. You kind of, Leah sees you investigating them and kind of turns and says, there are a lot of those in the plains, ancient civilizations that we know very little about, but I think you'll find a lot of the people in Freighter Town investigate these quite frequently. That one there is picked clean.
They ride
Okay.
expeditions. Yes.
Cool. Ancient civilizations. Does that ring a bell?
Roll a history check.
Hell yeah!
I feel like
Finally!
I feel like a guy with amnesia
Come
should
on,
have
natural 20. I'll take it. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
a guy with
Off of 13.
a guy with amnesia should roll with disadvantage on history. Just pointing that out. Should
You, ancient civilizations doesn't ring a bell, but
you know the words.
you have a bit of an influx of information. You feel like you have an idea that maybe there are a few of these around Dalandar. Quite a few. People have reported them a lot. It's become commonplace for people traveling, especially between those more traveled regions where people don't often go so much. They'll find a lot of these ruins. There's occasionally spots within the Umbral Network paths that also have some of these ruins as well, but they're scattered all over Dalandar based on what you know.
Okay. Cool. I'm trying to vamp while I finish writing. I just wrote the word while.
Ancient ruins. Lol.
Wow.
Side
wow.
note,
Wow. Oh.
can I give props to our tech for making me an amazing sulfur stat list?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just got sent that.
it's real good, isn't it?
It looks really good.
Like,
So-
I can't attest to this. I have no idea what it looks like, but
Yeah.
props to our tech.
Home brewery, I believe. So you continue riding on past. So because in Archibald you gain this information, and especially as Leah helps you out.
I think I might want to quickly look at that on the way back.
I think we're going to have plenty of opportunities. They're all over the place.
That is true.
Especially along the Umbral Network.
Would I actually know
Outside
about
the
that?
Umbral Network.
Would I know that about that with maybe associated with these my studies?
I mean, you not any more than Archibald.
Yeah.
You
Just
have,
like basic.
you have an idea that
So yeah.
they're kind of scattered about. You don't really know what they are, who built them. There's really no information that you can recall floating around on them. They just exist. You continue your travel throughout the day. You see a couple more roving bands of Aurochs, and at one point, one of those bird-like creatures flies out from the mountain range in front of you, and you can see it soaring above, very high above.
That thing's huge.
So, yeah, everyone roll perception checks.
Perception. Do I get advantage?
No. Natural 20?
Too far away.
Naturally.
Too far away to smell.
You know how I rolled that?
Unnatural 20.
You know how I rolled that? I just went,
11.
19.
I just
Wow.
checked it.
Okay.
I'm
Before
liking my new dice set.
Hey.
before Leah could notice you all looking, the three of you immediately see it isn't feathered in the same way that bird's eye. It has some feathers, but you see immediately something that you've come across in your studies, and this is a
Finally.
I'm
wyvern.
happy.
Education's paying
what?
off. What, Wyvern.
This is a wyvern.
How do I get
and
underneath
it's
the horse?
soaring.
It's a
way
mini
above.
dragon.
Finally, that that university.
A university degree is really
degrees
coming in
paying out.
handy now.
Finally, it's
Um,
worth those hex fees. It's never worth those hex fees.
Leo turns and says, that's correct. Yeah, there are a few wyverns in these mountains. They don't usually come this far north.
I was like, you went really on topic. It was perfect. So go on, go on.
They
Carry
don't
on.
usually come this far north.
Mm.
And we should be careful. They can get aggressive, but as long as it stays up there, it should be okay.
Do I have an idea what color it is from here?
Oh, you can all see it's a kind of a beigey, creamy color for the most part. It looks all roughly the same color as the plains themselves.
Oh, interesting.
You suspect maybe it's camouflage.
So is
Keep your
this a
eyes
case of it's
peeled.
not small, it's very far away?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Just keep your eyes peeled from all areas, including up top.
Maybe it's very small and very close to us.
Yeah, it's like
Well, I was
around this
just,
close.
it could be the size of a sparrow.
Suddenly,
which
from
makes
2
sense.
feet away.
There's 5 very small pseudo dragons, one above each of us.
You continue on, kind of keeping an eye on the wyvern as it flies overhead, and another feature catches your interest as you're getting closer to the cliffs now. You're starting to approach that point where you went to the cave, which is actually a little bit further south than where you currently are, but this area close to the cliffs, you didn't really get much of a great look at it previously, or at least you didn't experience much in the way of landmarks. But as you kind of ride here, you notice in a couple of spots there seem to be small mounds, elongated, as if something's kind of moved through the ground, and you see these large, long mounds of dirt that have been displaced at some point recently. It looks like. And you kind of ride past them, all keeping in track with the trail left by pestilence. These aren't parallel, but they crossed it, and you do see them a couple times.
Were they there when you rode past? Did you notice?
Yes, these ones are normal as well. I don't know what causes these. We've not actually encountered the creature, but we've seen the trails a few times.
Okay. It's big and underground. It's a good sign.
All
Do they
eyes.
seem like they could be like massive claw marks?
As you ride over one, make an investigation check.
So
Wait,
all eyes, keep
Do
them
I
peeled.
recognize these?
North, south,
You don't.
around.
Thinking of my session 0, do I recognize?
You do
Straight-
not
like,
recognize
straight
these.
17.
17. Doesn't look like claw marks. It does look like this dirt has been disturbed and pushed up from underneath.
Okay.
And you see a couple times where it looks like there may have been an entrance spot where it kind of cuts off suddenly, and the dirt, instead of erupting from underneath, it looks like it's being pushed down and it's being entered, and then it's kind of gone under the ground, pushing up the dirt above it before disappearing off into the grass.
Yeah.
You see these a couple times. Eventually, the day comes to a close as you are getting a lot closer to the cliff line. In this section of the cliffs, you don't see any caves, but you can see probably where you had been previously, further down the cliff line to your south. And as you approach those sounds that you've been previously hearing, as you're kind of keeping ear out for them, you don't hear any of them. Eventually, it
it's not
becomes too
raining.
dark for the horses, and Leah stops, dismounts, and begins setting camp once more.
I'm
watch
going to
order?
check the horse's feet because we don't want to get any of them lame.
Okay. Make an animal handling check for me.
Yeah.
And we're doing the same watch order.
in that. 19.
I'll take a
19.
watch. I'll take Leah's watch.
You thief.
Okay, so you'll take the middle watch.
If Leah doesn't complain about that, I'll go same watch order, yeah.
I'm certainly grateful for that. I can take a watch if you need me, though.
No, I think you can take it easy a little bit, and I'll go into a trance, and I'll take the rest of the watch after.
That's appreciated. So,
I can assist with the watch,
Wait,
pretty much. As in, I'm going to
Hey.
trance, and then I'll assist with another watch.
okay.
so
Pretty much as soon as I say that, I'm just like, books, everything next to me, down, trance.
she beds down. She also trances. This is
Oh, no.
this is
Yes.
she
Canon,
transfers
it happens.
across from you, and Sariel and Silkus. Actually, yeah, no, Sariel and Silkus make separate perception checks, and also for Sulfur with advantage. Silkus.
Oh, sorry. I got caught in the writing. So, wait. I'm
Perception.
Uh-oh.
trancing.
You're chancing, so
Put it this
perception.
way: collectively on 3 dice, I've equaled 8.
You son of a fucking bitch. It teased that 20. It teased it.
And now it's a 2?
Nah, it's a 9.
9.
Do you guys want to see mine?
That fucking tease. It's like a second on that roll.
I'm interested. Oh no!
Oh, that is the worst I've
They're
seen.
all natural
So
20
this one's
adjacent.
8,
How about that?
and this one's 7.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's not. It's 5, which is even worse.
So,
Okay.
just so I got this correct, because I didn't comprehend it properly, I'm in trance.
You're rolling perception with, in your case, a higher DC.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just so I got the right. I'm trancing right now, so I can do a perception check while that is happening.
Yes.
I thought it was
But
only
it's a
after.
higher DC because you're aware of your surroundings,
Yeah,
but you're not
okay, of
actively
course.
looking out. So the perception is closer to your passive perception, but it's still a roll.
Okay, cool.
So
Cool.
with that, you don't have any
I'm going to
further.
blame the 2 on
I was.
L for my bad roll.
If
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I knew that, I would have given her assistance with the perception check.
You can't in trance.
I can't win trance, and I retract my statement.
I did consider it. I was going to make that happen, but I realized
Yeah,
that
it seems
didn't
too
make
much.
sense.
Like I'm not purposely
Um,
doing it. Yeah.
Nothing. You don't experience any more of those strange experiences you had the previous night. With the shape leaping out after a bird, you don't see any further birds flying out. You do hear the kind of what sounds to be maybe an aurochs, a little bit close to you, but you hear the thudding footsteps once more, and your watch passes you by. You were Leah's watching. You were before.
I was last.
You were after. So, make a perception check, and you can
Am
make
I
another
still
perception check.
trancing?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So you were trancing the whole time, right? The whole
It's just
watch.
the 4 hours.
Right, but then you can watch for the rest.
Then
of
I
it.
could just do light activity afterwards.
What?
So make a perception check as well.
12.
Okay.
I trusted you.
You
So
made a big
Archibald, as you
mistake.
take your watch,
Wow.
you also see. You're scanning. It's now a fairly cloudless night. The clouds have gone away over the course of the last day, and as you're scanning, you can see looking towards the cliff is practically useless. It's just dark. But looking everywhere else, you can see across a lot of the plains. You can see back in the distance some small shapes, which are probably the ruins that you went past. You do see once, and then twice, and then that's all. A bird fly, and then some small shape, dark shape, just go, and then land again. You hear the thud as it lands, and then some of the grass moves, and then you don't see it anymore.
Can I make out what it is?
Roll another perception check for me.
18.
18. It sounds familiar, that's for sure. It doesn't look like it has fur from this distance. It looks like it's
Reptilian,
smooth skinned.
amphibian.
The way it moves is somewhere between.
The both.
It's somewhere between the way a large hulking creature like an ox would move, and a reptile, kind of. It has this weird jumping
Why am I
leap
picturing
where it
A
kind
cow
of.
frog.
I mean,
frog?
yeah, it's a
clog?
weird shape too. You're really not sure what this is. And it's really hard to tell. It is a couple 100 feet away, but with the light kind of shining down, you can see it doesn't look like it has fur.
Silkus. Silkus.
He is still trancing.
Silkus.
Up the gear. Yes. How can I help you?
Can aurochses jump?
Do I know anything about aurochses? from basic
roll
knowledge?
roll a survival check.
So, ooh, that's one I'm not good at. In general. Except for today. 17.
17. You don't feel like Aurochses can jump, at least not that high. You've certainly never seen one, and it seems too big and heavy.
How high did you say?
How high did it go? Quite high?
About 10, 15 feet in the air.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Uh,
It's like a weird Auroch-sized amphibian, at least. Something powerful.
It's not huge. It looks pretty small, like the size, a little bit smaller than Sulfur.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like a huge
I
oxen.
completely misunderstood.
giant stone just.
It moves the way a large creature would.
Okay.
Like it
It's
seems
slow.
it seems heavy. The
Oh,
way
okay.
it moves, it seems heavy. In its
And we're in
sleep,
the
but it
we're in
leapt
plains
pretty high.
right now.
You are, yeah. Grasslands, tall grass.
Are there rivers nearby?
Well, I would be the wrong one to ask, but I
You did cross a river.
do believe we did cross
Right.
one.
Okay.
You crossed the what you heard
Know
Leah
of any
refer to earlier as the
amphibians?
Steps River.
I know all kinds of amphibians, but nothing that's. Do I know anything about this kind of particular? Do I recognize
Based on its
anything like this?
description, you don't know any amphibians that big.
Yeah, nothing like that. Some more like the small ones that you do a little splicing for school and whatnot, along with other kind of test subjects and.
That's horrifying.
You're very strange. Go back to trancing.
It's basically
It-
magic.
it ju-
Sounds the
it
one
was
that casts
just-
spells with.
It was just a passing thought. I feel like I should. I feel like I know what it is, but at the same time, there's no reason for me to know it. I'm in that weird state,
between meta and
Yeah.
character.
but it's actually a character trait.
You can't. Yeah.
Anyway,
I like that.
Go back to bed.
Oh
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting you.
no, that's fine. I do want to try something later on. Before I go, just quickly. How would you be interested in
Never a good
pop quizzes? Just something to try to kickstart the memory.
Sure.
Well, I think it'd probably be a bad idea to do it right now, as continue
Okay.
watch, but keep that in mind, because
Alright.
anything to kickstart it,
Yeah.
possibly. Did the drink, the elixir do anything?
I
It has been a
feel
couple
like-
of days. You feel like it may have worked. You've
I
got
mean,
some of your memory back.
You leveled up since then. Yes.
I feel like it has done some stuff.
Also, you remember
Like-
something.
I have a lot more access. I have a lot more access to information, but I don't know the password. Essentially,
So you kind of got like
I
a
need to
filing cabinet
figure
without
out-
the key.
actually, no, that's wrong.
Some kind of metaphor.
Yeah,
You have an
it's-
open cabinet without any files in it.
I've
Alright,
got
that's a different
plenty
metaphor
of
as well.
files. I don't have the search index.
Ah, you've lost a table of contents.
Yes.
Well, hopefully the pop quiz can help. with
So
that.
when I see something, I'll probably know it, but until then, I don't know it.
You know what you know, and you don't know what you don't.
She says in her sleep.
She's very eloquent in her sleep.
She is. It's quite impressive. Well, I'm gonna go back
To be fair,
to
you're
what I
talking
do.
very loud.
I thought I was using message. I apologize.
You resume trance.
I just go back. Yeah.
Go out the rest of your watch. Eventually, waking John.
Yep.
Yep.
Silkus, you come out of trance right near the end of Archibald's watch.
Oh,
John, make a perception check
cracking the
for me.
neck.
Silkus, make
I'm
a
gonna
perception check for
scan
me.
my system instead.
15.
Perception is not really something you can assist someone on, to be
Yeah,
fair.
well, Look at
is
that.
fair.
Unless you're gonna like make.
What are you
some
gonna do?
binoculars.
Legolas, what do
I
you
just like grab your head and I'm just like.
I believe in
Yep.
you. You can see things.
I don't.
18.
I believe in you.
And what was that?
Human. You
15.
can see in the dark.
15.
I believe in you.
Between the two of you, Silkus, you at one point you kind of catch a glimpse of movement out the corner of your eye, and you're like, "What's that?" And John, you turn and have a look, and then you watch for a bit. Nothing much happens, and then about 30 seconds later, another bird flew up, and you see whatever creature this is that Archibald was describing to you go, "Boom!"
Okay.
And
When that
then-
happens,
run away.
when that happens, can I do Mage Hand, see if I can try to catch it?
It's a couple hundred feet away.
Ah.
You're seeing the
Okay.
silhouette
Oh,
against the
okay.
background as it
Yeah.
leaps after this bird, and then you hear the thud because it seems like a very heavy creature. And you see
damn,
the
it's
grass
60
move a
feet.
little bit, kind of shimmering off the moonlight, but it
How
I wanted to
off the
cast
how
Featherfall.
frog-like is this silhouette?
doesn't look like a frog. It really doesn't look like
Okay.
anything that you recognize.
Okay.
I really wanted to cast
It's really
Featherfall,
upsetting that it doesn't look like a frog.
but it jumps like one. It's
Just
annoying.
A little
I
bit.
can't imagine a
It's like-
salamander a giant salamander jumping. So
Jiminy
I've
Cricket.
been picturing a mixture between a frog and the cowberry plant from Sulfur.
Don't even know. Don't know the reference, but
I love
it's
it.
probably great. Oh,
Okay.
so that's what Osterball's been talking about. Oh, that's a bit weird.
You see it once or twice, and
Well, don't mind me. I'm gonna do a bit more writing. Gonna write down this frogish feminine thing. Jot it down. And I'm
Leah also wakes up at this point, out of trance, or comes out of trance, and kind of
Morning.
spends the rest of the watch with you. And your watch goes by relatively uneventful, besides that one.
I'm just like, I guess, in polite conversation and just in general, just talking, seeing what her travels have been like what she's seen.
Mm.
Anything of interest?
Make a persuasion check.
Sure. Oh!
Oh, you wanted persuasion checks, and then you did that.
Oh! Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna, flip that
Yeah.
there. And yes.
She doesn't give much information. She seems unwilling to talk too much about herself, and keeps directing the conversation back towards you.
I love me.
Or the two
It's
of
great.
you, at least.
Yeah.
The rest of your watch goes by uneventfully. The light once again filters over the mountains, and as you look in that direction, you can see the day ahead of you is going to be a lot of climbing, ascending up quite steep slopes. But Leah assures you that you will reach her party by the end of the day. And that, yep.
So,
Sulfur's gonna wake up Archibald by standing above him, wagging her tail, and with her mouth open. You know how dogs do.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna slightly drool on him while she waits for him.
wait, who's she doing
Pleasant,
this
very
to?
pleasant.
Well,
she doing
that's
this too?
lovely.
Wait, who's she's doing this to, sorry?
Me,
Oh, okay.
the one that's asleep.
Not the only person who's now asleep.
I reckon I'm gonna wrestle her to the ground when she does that. I'm just gonna.
With your...
She loves you, man.
I know. I love her to the back.
With that slobbery
It's,
conclusion to the
I like
evening,
her
to the
as
night,
a friend.
that is where we're going to leave the session for this evening. Have you guys enjoyed?
yeah.
I hope you did too.
I did. I had
That's
fun that
good.
session.
I'm still waiting.
Thank you to everyone who's here watching. We very much appreciate you being here. If you would like to catch us continuing forward, we
Need a
stream
Pokeball.
every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We also upload VODs, at least when I remember to, on Wednesdays in the morning to our YouTube channel, which you can find in the panels below. You can follow us on Twitter, also in the panels, and join our Discord to interact with us if you would like. Also, remember to follow us here on Twitch to catch further content as we go live. Bananarama stream, I call it Bananarama. The Bananas go live every Friday in the morning as well, so be sure to catch them if you like some Sims or anything else that they may do in the future. Until the next time, thank you all so very much for watching. We'll see you soon.
Stay frosty.
Take it easy.
Is that really
San
the last
Francisco.
thing you want people to hear?
Yes. They must be aware. Always.
Always aware.
Always. It's not paranoia if it's true.
Always watching.
Always watching.
Why do you always have to one up me?
Because I'm just better.